Alrighty, good evening everyone. This is July 24th, 2024, and this is our 5 o'clock work session. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, and I believe we have Ruth Maggart is going to give us a blessing tonight. How are you doing? Come on to the podium. Thank you for being with us.
It's an honor to get to do this. Oh my God, verily thou dost perceive these servants present here, turning unto thee, calling on thee, awaken within each to the utmost the faculties of discernment and reason in their deliberations and stewardship of the commonwealth of this community. May they become the signs of thy bestowal within and beyond this community, and the standards of thy grace amid and for the greater good of this community. O Lord, make them instruments of concord and cause thy great mercy to descend upon these entrusted stewards as they deliberate on the fiscal affairs of this community. With outcomes we pray that are just, fair, and equitable. O Lord, ordain for them thy bounty and protect them in every test. Make their feet firm in thy path and help them to be mighty mountains so their trust shall not waver. Finally, O my God, unite the hearts of thy servants and reveal unto them thy great purpose. May they follow thy commandments and abide in thy law. Help them, O God, in their endeavors and grant them strength to serve thee. O God, lead them not to themselves, but guide their steps by the light of knowledge and cheer their hearts by thy love. Thank you so much. And I'm with the Baha'i faith community.
Thank you very much for being here tonight. Have a great evening. Thank you. Next, I'm going to ask Chief Brewer to come forward. He has some great news for us.
I don't know if I'd call this one great news, but we want to bring Captain Cole McCourt forward to recognize him. Captain McCourt has been with the department since June of 2004, so he just hit his 20-year mark. He's going to be retiring next week, effective August 1st, and he's been a great asset to the department. We've kind of come up through the department together, along with Squire Harrod back in the day. You can see some of the pictures throughout the years. He's also served in many other roles. He's a veteran of the military service. He's also served as a instructor for the Fire Commission, which is just made it more beneficial and been a great asset to the fire department by opening up other opportunities. So we just wanted to bring him forward and give everyone a chance to recognize him and thank him for all his service for over the years.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. 20 years. That's a heck of a run. You sure you want to go?
Yes.
He didn't even balk at that, did he? Yeah. Who's here with you today?
My wife and my 2 kids.
Okay, well, good. Yeah. You want to bring him up? Andrew, you want to do a picture? Chief, would be okay if we get a group picture with the court and them?
Sure.
Yep. Andrew, why don't you take a picture of them and their family first?
We'll do a picture.
And then we'll get a court picture.
Yeah, all right. Perfect, guys. 1, 2, 3. Give me 1 or 2 more. 1, 2, and 3. Perfect.
All right, come on, Court. Let's get in there. Get a picture. Chief, you getting in?
Yeah.
Come on, let's get in. Come on, Chief. Yeah. Congratulations. Thank you very much for your dedication. Have y'all stand next to him. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, find a window, Chief. There we go. And then Squire Tanner, if you want to move in just a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3. Couple more, guys. Just hang out. 1, 2, and 3. One last time now, y'all. 1, 2, and 3. And then Portland has a wife. Did she get one? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks again. Good luck with your retirement.
Take that picture and $199 will get you out of the seat.
Are you sure about that? I get more trouble.
Alrighty, next, that's right, Duke's an old firefighter himself. Alrighty, public comments. Is there anybody in the audience that has any public comments tonight? Seeing none, we're going to invite our road super, Duke Wilburn, up. How you doing, sir?
Doing well, how are y'all?
Everything's good, thank you.
Deal. I'd like to update the court on what the road crew's been doing the last couple of weeks. We've done quite a bit of work down on Mulholland Road in Squire Sebastian's district. We had some blowouts down there, I think.
That's kind of good.
Yeah. Mostly from, I believe, trash trucks. They're so heavy and just tearing the road up. So we've about got those fixed. And actually, we replaced a culvert down on Schofield Lane that Squire Sebastian called me one day, said we had a hole in the road, and it was wound up being an old concrete culvert that had come apart. So we got that one fixed. We still need the blacktop. Hope we get that done tomorrow. But installed a new water service line for the office as part of the project down there at the road department. Whitehead Hancock actually, they did the water line. We just dug it and did the backfilling and tried to save the county a little money on that deal. So, and of course we got the mowing crew out in District 4. And then I think Andrew's got some pictures. Cody and myself went out and done a little job for the for Western Hills for the ag teacher, Mr. Zenner. Harriet gave them some big, huge stones, and so we went out and set them this morning and helped them out a little bit. But it's kind of neat to help school.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's about the extent of my report.
Okay.
We did have a meeting last Thursday on the road department project. We've had a few issues down there with it. Had some turnover of help. I think Codell's got a new guy down there. Rising Sun's got a new guy. We actually had a pretty good meeting yesterday about the issues and contractors not showing up, doing what they need to be doing, and hoping that things will get turned around down there and get back on track. Try to make up for some lost time.
Yeah, Duke, and I appreciate that. I know it's been a lot, you know, in addition to just running the roads for the county, but having a project like that in front of us, and
And to your point, there has been some bumps in the road down there, but I do feel like after yesterday's meeting, we'll get some things back on track. I know we had a meeting down there, Squire Taylor, when was that? Thursday, I guess?
Thursday.
So, does anybody that was at that meeting want to share anything?
I just want to mention that the road committee and everybody here is aware of everything that's going on in the fiscal court and the members and Duke especially is making sure that the taxpayers of this county gets their money's worth for that project that's going out there. It's looking like a road department. You know, we have two of the buildings up, or nearly up, and well on their way, and I think that we're focused out there now, and it'll be done promptly, and it'll be a good job for the county. That's what I got to say.
Oh, that's perfect, that's perfect. So, yep. You still looking, I know we always ask about the mow trim mower, is that still end of the month?
That's what we're hoping.
End of July is what
Haven't-
we've been hearing?
Yeah, haven't heard anything the last couple of weeks, but
Okay.
hoping it's still on track.
And then the brush truck
We
has been ordered that we were fortunate to get, Ally got that grant for?
That is correct. Ally actually signed or you may have signed the
Yeah.
paperwork last few days. And then they're doing a pre-delivery inspection. I'm thinking we'll have it, he originally told us 2 weeks from the date the paperwork was signed, so.
Okay.
That's for the gravel truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
So we're gonna kind of look at how we're doing all that, kind of reanalyze how we're picking things up and try to make it more efficient and keep the road department doing road department things, so, yeah.
Yeah, that limb stuff eats up a lot
Yeah.
of time, 2 days a week, and it's,
Yeah.
you know,
Hopefully
a
the
whole
hopefully the truck will knock that down.
Yeah.
So, all right, anything else for Duke while he's here?
Thank
Alrighty,
y'all.
Duke, thank you very much. Alrighty, judges report. I also want to thank Ruth again for that blessing. That was very nice today. We've had some committee meetings since last fiscal court meeting. Administrative services, you know, we've met and we have Ashley, our HR director, is currently working on section by section, kind of getting a draft for the court so we can kind of look at our new admin code and policies and procedures book. So we're going to do it a little different than we've done it in the past. Like we said, the road committee has met. We talked about some really good things during that road committee about fuel, what tanks are going to be needed, how we can save some money long-term down there, bulk oil, things like that. So I appreciate Duke and his team looking at that and figuring out how we can save some money long-term and make things more efficient. The other thing is, and I know you all have gotten some information on it, is there is a change order in front of us later in the meeting about doing a 5-foot apron around the building, the front of the bays on both sides. So we weren't able to get the actual contract in time, but we're going to have authorization, hopefully, that I can sign before our next meeting, so we can keep moving on that. I think that's going to help a lot. As you all know, I'm on the medical cannabis work group, so had a meeting just before this, and everything's on track as far as what's going on with that for the state. Franklin County Fair was a big deal. I believe Andrew has some pictures up there. I know a lot of you all were there. We were all there for opening night. I appreciate everybody being there. I actually ended up there one night myself, rode rides for 2 hours with my mentee, so never thought I would do that, but he said, I want you to ride with me, and we rode, and it's been a long time, and there's an interesting picture there, caught in the act.
They had a donut eating.
Oh, okay, got you. Yep, so, but no, a lot of positive feedback. I know there's a couple concerns just to tweak some things, and I voiced those with Charlie Lewis, our park director. He's going to attend the next meeting. Just some things that we saw that could maybe make it just a little bit better and easier for everybody. But I want to commend the group that puts that on, the fair volunteers. I mean, it's a big ordeal. But I know Franklin County loves it, and we appreciate it. And the motorsports is always a big hit. And I know they had some big numbers down there. Squire?
I just want to say thanks to the court and to the parks. The Jeep that was donated from the parks to the school, our principal drove it in the I guess, the mud run.
Mud run.
And he was in first place in the first heat, but ended up getting fifth. But
Is that right?
It was pretty cool.
Well, good. All good stuff. Other than that, the responders had emergency responders had an appreciation lunch last Saturday. Dynamic Restoration hosted a lunch for all first responders, so we appreciate them doing that. That's just a picture we took prior to that because we knew it would be hard to do it the next day. So city was there, county was there. We appreciate Dynamic Restoration doing that for our first responders. And, I just kind of asked them why, and they said, we appreciate everything they do for our community. So I really appreciate that. And then also upcoming meetings next week, Deputy Jack and I are going to head to the National Rural Economic Development Summit, Stand Up America. That's up in Indiana. So we're going to go up there for a couple of days and learn some things. Spellapalooza is next Friday at 6 o'clock. So we have the Stingers, and I know our very own Squire Blackburn's on that, and a couple other people. So we're always excited about any event at Thornhill, and that should be a great night for everybody. It's a huge fundraiser for them, and fun will be had by all. So that is my judge's report. Alrighty. Squire?
I want to say it's not too late to probably get an alternate. I'm not backing out.
Okay, no, we need you there, buddy.
Appreciate it.
Alrighty. Anybody have any questions from our last minutes of July 10th, 2024?
Just wanted to clarify two motions that I made, what it reads.
Microphone, please, Squire. Thank you. No, you're good.
I'm always the one on that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Seventh paragraph down, page 2, I guess, because we were kind of talking about this being confusing at that meeting even, that second sentence, the second reading and approval of the ordinance, it really should probably be a denial of the ordinance. And then the same thing in the third paragraph down on the third page, second reading and denial of an ordinance instead of approval.
Okay.
I'll fix that.
Thank you.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty, so I'm going to backtrack because I always do this and I mess things in my judge's report. But I'm going to invite Tammy to come up because Tammy has some fabulous news and I wanted her to tell you all so she could celebrate our team's wins. Go ahead, Tammy.
I'm not sure if you remember, but when I presented the resolution to apply for the Assistance to Firefighters grant, Chief Brewer said that we've applied for this grant for the past, 3 years?
Last several years.
Yeah. And we hadn't been awarded any funds. But I'm happy to announce that this year we did receive funds in the amount of $104,400. The fire department's match will be $16,763. This is going to fund 17 SCBAs and 41 face masks.
So thanks.
Great job. Yeah, that's why I wanted her to do the big deal. Like Chief Brewer said, they've tried for years and years. And I asked Tammy, I said, what do you think did it this year? She said, have you read my grant application? So she shared that with me, and I have to admit, it was very, very well written. So congratulations. That's a big win for Franklin County and for the fire department.
I do want to give some special thank yous.
Yep.
Chief Brewer, he does an amazing job providing language and for patiently answering all of my questions and providing additional information when I requested it. He's just always very great to work with. Also, Amy helped me not only understand the fire department's budget, but our overall budget, which was very important to the narrative, and also to Ben, who provided me with useful resources and information that really amplified our narrative.
Well, great. Thank you. And
Thank you.
appreciate the team all getting together and doing this and helping Franklin County out. So thank you very, very much. I'm sorry I forgot you in my judge's report. I knew I was going to do that. I told you right before here. Alrighty, we'll go to the next agenda item, County Clerk. Hey Jeff, how are you doing?
How's everybody doing?
Everybody's great?
Good. Guys, this is a formality. This is what we turn in to the Department for Local Governments. It's to make sure that we're on pace to make our budget every year. This is the quarterly base. I will tell you the same thing I told you back in the first quarter. We are not up yet. I mean, it does show that we have $373,000 in excess fees at this point. You still have the November general election. You've still got a lot of money to spend out of this. And I'm hoping, and I mean, we'll always be above our budgeted excess fees. We kind of strive to do that. We strive to get as much money as we can in your all's hands so you can do for the community as the community needs to be done. But with the new system, we are one of the counties that's completely caught up. We don't have any dealers in Franklin County. If the dealers are telling you it's because of the clerks, it's not the Franklin County clerk. We are doing yesterday's work today. So we are completely caught up. We were able to swim through the current and get ahead of it. It took some overtime. It took some comp time. It took us doing what it took to get the job done. But at this point, we're in a really healthy spot at the clerk's office. Before I come down from here, I want to, I realize it's July. I realize we're all wearing shorts right now. November the 5th is right around the corner, guys. The reason I bring that up, I just had to have a conversation with Chief Brewer. It's going to be a county-wide effort. I mean, Duke's guys are going to have to help to get the equipment delivered. The school boards are going to give us all the locations we need. We're not getting any fallout on that. But we're talking about voting probably close to 30,000 Franklin County citizens. To do this, we'll still have our 3 days of early voting with our locations open. The very first day of early voting is October 31st. One of our locations is the #1 trunk or treat area in Franklin County. We will close down at 4 o'clock on that day, but what we are doing to offset that is we're staying open 2 hours later on that Saturday. So we're going to go 8 to 4 on that Thursday. Then we're going to go 8 to 6 as we've had it in the past on Friday, and then we're going to turn around and go 8 to 4 again on Saturday. So we're doing what we need to do. This is one of those elections that the biggest problem, I just came back from clerk's convention, and our biggest fear is right now is misinformation. So you as the magistrates, the judges, all the county elected officials, the best thing you can do is make sure that we know when incorrect information's out there. Make sure that we can offset any bad players and make sure that everyone knows that not only are our elections safe, they're fair, they're equal, and everybody involved is working for the people. They're not working for any candidates, they're working for the people. So, it's going to be a really busy fall. I look forward to seeing a bunch of you everywhere out. So, if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Jeff, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Alrighty. Next up, I believe, is the office equipment. I don't believe the sheriff is here, but I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Putting these things up for auction at govdeals.com. Next, I believe, Amy, are you going to speak on this one a little bit, please? Just in case there's any questions. I think we've talked about this before, but if you want to explain it again, please.
Sure.
There's the sheriff. Oh, ta-da. Hey, come on. Is there anything you would like to talk about with the GovDot deal?
No, I mean, those are just a bunch of really old computers that's probably not going to bring much money, but we need to get rid of them, so.
Okay. Alrighty, and then would you rather talk about this instead of Amy as far as this next?
Can I ask,
We'll see what she does.
can I ask the sheriff real quick? I've always wondered, Chris, about the laptops. Do we retain their hard drives or somehow like
They wiped them, yes.
wipe, someone does that
We
for
have
us?
an IT person, yeah.
Okay.
Well, Amy, I guess you take it lead.
So in your packet, I do have a correction. So during the budget discussions, the sheriff asked for $150,000 for vehicles. Last court, we did one vehicle out of the general fund. This is for 3 vehicles, so the resolution will change the wording from 2 to 3 in the top, as well as in the now therefore section. Just want to make you aware of that. The clerk does have that updated resolution. This is a resolution authorizing the use of the LATCF funds to cover that.
Any questions for Amy on this? I know we talked about it during budget. Oh, I'm sorry, Squire Sebastian.
Thank you, Judge. Actually, this is just a quick question for the sheriff. The darts chargers, are they 24s?
They're actually the last 2023 that
They're
they had,
20.
so we got a pretty good price on them. And the reason we want them is because we can take a couple of the old ones we have and use some of the equipment on these, so it'll save us upfitting money.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Sheriff, thank you, Amy. Next, I believe we're here to talk about HMB. This is gonna be Ben or Tammy? Who wants to take the ball and run with it on this one? All right, not everybody jump up. Come on, Ben, you got a tie on tonight, you might as well get up in front of that podium. Looking good, man.
Thanks. We have entered into, we're about to enter into a contract with HMB. We do have them currently on call. We had some language added to the contract as proposed by HMB to include language that would kind of cover some standard stuff for grants and those type of applications that would help Tammy out significantly for any type of work they might do for us that involves grant monies. I'd be happy to take some questions.
And we had a really good meeting about this, and that is one thing Tammy brought up, so I appreciate HMB kind of working with her to get that defined, just to make sure we're all in compliance.
And they were good with it.
Yeah, absolutely. All righty, thank you.
Thanks.
Judge,
Oh,
question on that. Ben, can you point out, is that been added into the hourly rates in the back in one of these?
The grant stuff
Has
specifically?
anything changed specifically? I was wondering, because we just amended and approved a contract with them maybe 3 months ago, maybe 4. It's been very recently, and
The
I
attachment
think this is
A does
third
have
one,
the
I
fee
think.
schedule, and I think it's unchanged.
Okay. All right.
Oh, there goes Tammy.
Tammy has a clarification.
Well, I mean, this is a result of the bid that was, or the request for proposals that was put out. And any work that they do that would have a scope of work, that would be a separate, contract's not the right word, I'm trying to think of. No, sorry, I'm drawing a blank.
You want to do charades? Maybe cut it up a little bit, I mean, I'm cool with that.
It would, not a change order, but it's covered under this agreement. But if we have a specific scope of work, like, let's say for the SS4A grant, we are going to define a specific scope of work. We would have a separate document that would cover that scope of work.
Like an addendum to the contract or
There you go. Sorry, I'm
just
really
an extra
Yes.
to the contract that'd be more specific to
Yes, and
that
then-
specific scope of work? So an addendum or an add-on to this basic contract?
Yes, and then.
Following these fee schedules, correct?
Well, the fee schedule would not apply. We would negotiate
Okay.
an amount for that entire scope of work.
That's been one of my concerns, is with their contract, we've been amending without a rate or any idea of what sort of balloon cost is going to be total for us countywide for whatever project comes up, right? We need
Right.
planning and zoning services regularly, but within the scope of what you're thinking, they're going to come back to us, say they need, you need help with schematics and specifics about some land grant, use grant, that they're going to be able to bring us a general cost estimate before they undertake that, so we can review.
Yes.
Will we be approving those for each specific grant? There may be an instance where we need to spend something close to $100,000 on a couple $1 million grant, but, I'm wondering how that's going to work.
I think that would need to come back before the fiscal court.
Yeah, we'd bring it in front of the court.
Okay.
Yeah. Squire Wisman, I could think of a perfect deal. We're still talking about a Slickaway branch. I'm sure
Exactly what I was just sort of
something to that magnitude. I
intimidating.
know we've gotten some money towards, I think, for a study, but once they kind of hopefully dial in on that, then we can negotiate with them what they think it would be, and then we bring that to the court for approval.
Okay. Just wondering about the process of
Yeah.
that.
It's a great question. Alrighty, thank you,
Thanks.
guys. Alrighty, Amy, I believe you're back up.
This agenda item is just showing you that we have filed the fourth quarter report with Department of Local Government, and I've just got the summary in there with the signature sheet.
Any questions on that, Court? Alrighty.
So I am pleased to present the financial highlights for fiscal year '24, which concluded with strong performance and strategic financial management. And so let's dive into the details. A brief revenue overview. In the fiscal year '24, our total revenue amounted to $44.7 million. This was supported by taxes, which were contributing $21.2 million, representing 47% of our revenue. Borrowed funds of $10.3 million. Intergovernmental support and grants totaling $5.2 million. Miscellaneous sources including the sheriff clerk payroll reimbursements, insurance proceeds, and settlements contributing $4.5 million. And my favorite, interest income of $1.2 million. And that was benefiting from strategic investments and improved rates. Moving on to our expenses. On the expenditure side, we managed our resources effectively with total expenses amounting to $35.8 million. Key expense areas included salaries, accounting for $13 million, reflecting our commitment to our workforce. Full-time employees received an increase of 500 in July, and all employees received a 3% increase in January. The jail and the road department employees had a salary adjustment in January. Retirement benefits, our Social Security Medicare match at $6 million, ensuring support for our employees. The Fiscal Court was able to continue to fully cover the health insurance premiums for employees, and the court subsidized 65% of premiums for employee dependents. Capital projects totaling $4.4 million, including investments to the new facility at the road garage, professional service for potential park projects, as well as debt payments on existing bonds. Household waste collection, $1.6 million. Jail facility and inmate support, less payroll and benefits of $1.8 million. Our share of ambulance, 911 emergency services, a little over $1 million. Fire department maintenance and support, less payroll and benefits, was $881,000. And the remainder is general operations support, federal restricted money, and tourism pass-through. So taking this revenue and the expenses, I deducted, to come up with our reserve amount, I deducted items that I refer to as restricted monies. Anything to do with bond activity, the clerk storage fees, opioid settlement, ARPA, LATCF. After deducting those, the Fiscal Court has a notable increase in our reserves. And several factors contributed to this positive outcome. Number one, our departments adhered to their budgets. If you remember, their budgets were tight, and they made budget transfers between their accounts to cover any overages. Higher interest income received due to better rates and investments. And then just specific revenue items exceeded budgeted amounts. The bourbon barrel tax, excess tax receipts, park revenues, the landfill license fee. So with that in mind, the increase to our reserve for year '24 is $1.5 million. And this brings our reserves as of June 30th of '24 to $14 million. So your packet has the charts as well as the spreadsheet showing the last three years trend. And I'd be happy to answer any questions. Clerk?
It's in the info packet.
She specifically made those for me because she knows I like to look at pictures. Amy, on behalf of the Franklin County Fiscal Court, I want to say thank you to you and all the department heads that are here. You know, to Amy's point, when we went over this the other day, you know, a lot of things she talked about was commending the department heads for staying in their budgets, because I know in years past that has not happened. I think the cash vest thing that this court invested in was huge. I know it's made you more comfortable how we invest our money, where and when, things like that. So I think it was a true team effort, but I really appreciate that summary right there. That was very well done. So does anybody have any questions or comments for Amy? Squire Sebastian.
I have a comment. I think this also is a testament to the will of this body to continue to add to our reserve rather than drawing on reserves to pay for things beyond the means of the county and the court. So I'm happy with the track record I got on this court about
Absolutely.
putting money away instead of spending it.
Yep. And Squire, I appreciate you and Squire Dykes for serving on the Finance Committee. I know sometimes it can be cumbersome, but it's all good stuff. Yeah. Squire Wisman?
Yeah, Judge, you know, if you'll remember, I voted against this budget last year because we had budgeted effectively $1.5 million outside of our income. I'm happy, very happy to see that we come out $1.5 million to the positive, which is a difference of $3 million in that runs. I know some of that is due to things that we had unexpected. We didn't fill some key positions. We saved on those throughout the year. The cash vest is performing better than I had expected, or at least hoped. I'm very happy to see that, and I think Amy's stewardship specifically, keeping a very tight eye on everything, has been transformational for the budget that I've seen over a decade studying the court's budgets, always just a lagging behind, $1 million, $1.5 million or more, trying to catch up, and a fund that was growing at times and not at times. So I'm happy to see that, and I hope that's beneficial for the budget for this coming year, because again, we budgeted a little bit more than what we have coming in, right? So at minimum, we've made almost all of that up, I hope. So, thank you, Amy.
All righty, thank you very much again, Amy.
Can I ask a question just about my understanding?
Mike, please, Mike.
Sometimes I don't understand, but the real property taxes of $6,412,000 this year, is that in after the sheriff takes his 4.5 out?
Yes, it is.
That's after, that's net for us.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, that's all, that's it.
Good question. All righty, what else do you have for us, Amy?
So the next agenda item, we're closing out that year. It's time to move on with our audit of that year. So I have the engagement letter. I think I failed to, I should have done that, but I failed to put the letter from the state. I requested from them whether we should go private or if they would do that. They did say that we should go private. The state is usually every 4 years. So I contacted Charles T. Mitchell again. They did our audit last year. It is the same price as last year. It's consistent all the way back to year 20, fiscal year 20. And I make the recommendation of going with Charles T. Mitchell simply because they know our county.
Any questions for Amy on this item?
Just, there was a discussion, I remember, earlier in the year about whether there was a benefit to changing that consultant, and I don't remember what the end of that conversation was, but is there any benefit in your opinion?
I can answer that. Yeah, I'm happy to answer that. When an auditing firm comes in, they have to pull a number of records to familiarize themselves. So there will be staying with this same firm that we've had for the past few years. That will help in ensuring that that ramping up time, they're not spending time ramping up, they are actually doing the work of the auditing. Now, Amy, you can say if you agree with that or you disagree with
I
that.
agree. There's a bit of a learning curve when you
Yes.
bring a new auditor in, and that you'll see that in the cost as well.
Yep.
Alrighty, keep moving.
Judge, can I ask for just something quickly, because related, I had a note. I'd like to see, we, in our revenue reports for last year, we came out 164%, or 65% effectively to the positive for delinquent property taxes. I'm wondering how we can get a review of things that are still outstanding. I don't know that that ever comes to this body, but I'd like to put some physical eyes on things that are maybe continuing the pattern of outstanding, particularly related to real property. Is that something you can provide us, Amy, or somehow?
I do not have that information, but I might be able to check into it to see how I can find it.
I remember when I was on the other side of the river, there was a property that had just not been caught, and it was allowed to continue for 14 years before someone realized that person had passed away, and we've been sending the bill to that same property, and no one ever had bothered. I'm just thinking maybe it's a good exercise once in a while to put eyes on exactly what we're
I believe the
not.
county clerk has that, so it might be worth a conversation with Jeff.
Just mentioning it
Yeah.
here, so,
All good.
just so that everybody has an opinion. The Sheriff's Office may have it better, too.
Okay, that's my question.
Alright, Amy?
I thought the county attorney collected
So this is my last
Oh, I'm
agenda
sorry,
item.
Squire, did you have something on that last agenda
It's
item?
on this
Oh,
one.
okay, okay,
so
I'm sorry.
just
Make sure I
gonna
didn't miss you.
No, sir.
Alright, go ahead, Amy.
So this is the monthly summary, which I've really gone over that in the financial statement. But I will just quickly go over receipts 44.7, expenditures 35.8. Adding that to our fund balance as of June 30th of '23, 21,000. We have an ending fund balance of 29.9. And then I also have revenues and expenses as of July 19th.
Squire Sebastian.
Thank you, Judge. So, Madam Treasurer, I'm looking at the expense report, and I'm looking at the page one of that, 015001-212. Can you advise, I guess, on the unexpended balance? Because right now, it's showing that, not necessarily it's encumbered, but there's a considerable unexpended balance there. And
The
that,
training incentive for the
that
county
shows
judge.
almost 300% above the.
Clerk, do you have some information about that?
I am not for sure about that one. I have to look into that.
If somebody could. It's awfully early to be.
I would say that something has been posted wrong.
I'm thinking that there's some anomaly there, but
And I'm
we need to
sorry,
know.
Kim, I don't think that's not where you would post to. That's probably a payroll post, and it's probably
Yeah.
magistrate training, so I'll look into that.
Something's just not.
Any other questions for Amy
Thank you.
on this agenda item?
If somebody will just get back with
Yeah.
us. Thank you.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Thank you.
Amy, again, thank you for delivering the wonderful news tonight. Alrighty, payment of claims. I know this part of the agenda is gonna kind of jump a little bit, it seems like. Payment of claims. Does anybody have any questions for Kim on payment of claims? Squire Sebastian.
Thank you, Judge. I looked through this document, and as progress continues toward the completion of the road department, which is long, long overdue. We heard today that contract staff, they're changing, and we're doing that in order to leverage their skill sets for the point-in-time pieces that we need. And we're very closely monitoring each of the milestones as we go. We were presented, I guess, with some bills here in this section, and my interest was piqued, I guess I should say, at the percentage of completion. and that stands out. So I would ask that we pull invoice number, and I'm kind of looking here at the,
Squire, just to make sure everybody knows, we're at 97-8001-750.
yes, sir.
Okay, I
I'm
just want to
sorry.
make sure everybody's on the same
I
page.
apologize.
No, you're good, you're good.
I normally
Just-
give the number, and I
No,
do not.
it's
I'm
all good. I
sorry.
just wanna make
It is
sure.
the very last page
Yep.
of that item. So as I look down there, if I'm counting the items, the second item,
Yep.
I would ask that we pull item 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, and 9,
Okay.
so that we can make some inquiries in regard to
Make sure that.
the percentages.
On the numbers you're using, again,
I'm just counting numerically from number 1, under,
being arts and letters.
yes, sir. I'm not pulling that, or I'm not requesting that. Number 2, number 3, number 6, number 7, number 8, number 9. So the ones not, not being pulled would be 1, or I'm not requesting that, would be 1, 4, 5, and 10. If that makes, based on the percentages here, that was something that just kind of, I would like for us to investigate that, looked into that a little bit more.
Absolutely. And I
In
know
regard
we
to
have
the
another meeting
percentages.
set up for next week. I think we need to figure some things out, and I know our owner representation, I think is OHM, and I think it'd be worthy of a meeting with them to see where the percentages are compared to actuals.
Yeah.
So
that-
I
that's where I'm
I
at.
would support that. How does the rest of the court feel about
I
that?
have one comment real
Okay.
quick. The item number 3 was a short payment that I accidentally did on last court. So we already paid it, so I accidentally short paid. So I think,
Is that $10 one or something?
yes,
It
it's
is.
a $10.
We're not
But
losing
it's
sleep
already-
over that one.
It's already paid.
It's just a short payment. I didn't pay enough of it.
You paid 10 less than you should.
Yeah.
Okay, all right,
That
so
makes sense.
I just didn't know, sometimes those things get added on to an existing payment, since what you're calling it a short payment. So I didn't know if that impacted payment number 2, if that makes any sense. Not that I want to cut
Well,
somebody out of. I
We'll
just
we'll
wanna-
look, let's go at it, if it's already done, then
Yes.
that's fine.
And I'm-
But if it's not, then we hold both of them.
Yes,
Yep. If you're okay with that.
Yes, sir.
I'm right there with you.
all right, thank you.
Squire Tanner, you had a question, statement, comment?
County attorney, there is a statute floating around that says that we have to pay our bills in 30 days. Will this allow us, in order we are requesting to review those, to make sure we understand those percentages of the work that is done, will that get us by that 30 days?
When did we receive those invoices?
We received them last Wednesday.
We're meeting in 2 weeks, I would say so. Our next meeting's
I'm-
August 6th,
I'm-
right?
I understand
Yeah.
why, and I favor that. I just want to make sure that we get around, not get around that statute, but make sure that we're,
We'll take a look at the invoices when we receive them and figure all that out. I mean,
if they're
that's gonna-
incorrect,
Right,
it wouldn't matter when we receive them.
correct. And so we need to look at the contract, look at when we receive the invoices. Without looking at all that, I can't really give you an opinion.
So is the majority of the court okay with what we were talking about there?
I'm okay with it, I just want to make
Yeah,
sure
we'll
we're all
make
on
sure.
the same sheet with the
Right.
county attorney.
Correct.
Yeah. And Squire, if we had to, because I do, we're talking about taxpayer money, we could always call a special if we had to. If it was if we weren't within that 30
We need to make
days.
sure we own the money we're paying.
Yeah,
Correct.
exactly.
Yes, sir.
Pursuant to what's in the
I
contract,
think
That's
that's,
where we're going.
that's the whole question.
that's why I need to look at the contract
Yeah.
and need to look at when we receive those invoices.
Yep.
In favor. I had this somewhat similar remarks
Okay.
written down to make.
Okay. Court Blackburn, you good?
No, I'm 100% agree.
Okay. Kim, can you make note of that, and we'll
Yes.
meet tomorrow and look at it, but as of right now, we're gonna hold on those.
Judge, I'd even maybe ask, but I think we're going to have a meeting already that we're putting together somewhat the same about the design phase for the park. I don't know what percentage where we are and where that whole thing is.
We're getting ready to schedule a meeting for that, so, yeah.
Yeah, so I
Yep.
didn't.
Perfect.
Judge, could our jail fund, the medical overages, I've noticed several times over the last year or so that consistently the bill will be the same for multiple months, the exact same, no difference in a penny. And I'm just thinking that, well, for one, with the new jailer come in, maybe it would be best for us to start putting some physical eyes as maybe the jail task force or something on those medical bills, just to review and sort of see what maybe we can tweak and have better conversation with that medical provider. We had a good meeting with them. I asked for some additional information. I don't know if we've got that from them yet, but again, this month we have 2 months, back to back with the exact same costs that are significantly over our cost pool that I'm just, for my own edification here, but I intend to, but I wanted to bring it up to the court that we maybe start taking a good look at those and a little more in depth.
Okay. Anything else on payment of claims?
I'll speak to that.
Let me ask a question about that. So, Squire Wisman, which one are you looking at? Are you looking at the
Supplemental.
regular or the extra piece that we received?
Well, the extra piece has got the jail medical
Yeah, because the initial document we got, which had the cost pool in it, and
Yeah.
it had the medical. So those are actual contractual obligations we have. I'm just trying to make sure I understand the words. So the next document that we had, the supplemental piece, had $1,330, which from my recollection of everything in the overage of the cost pool is much less than we've had any other month. So I kind of almost rejoiced at seeing this smaller, because I ask this question every court about why we're doing the medical overage. So I even remarked to our clerk, I was like, I'm happy to see that this is
I'm seeing
small.
the same thing, it was $5,833 and it dropped to $1,330. Is that the truth?
That's the overage.
Yeah.
So that's above, yes, and
Yeah.
so it is
Yeah.
considerably less than.
Yeah.
But it's the same point that we've all talked about for a year.
Go ahead, Amy.
I'm just bringing the point to that I'd like to start putting eyes on it as a committee and saying, would the court like to do anything more in depth? We had that conversation with them. We had some discussion about making some changes, either to their services or the personnel offerings. And I'm thinking how we best get to the answer is to start looking at those a little bit more in depth about what is being provided and what alternatives there are maybe.
So what committee were you saying gets that? What committee?
That's somewhat what I'm asking. A jail task force can look at it, I suppose, with me. I will volunteer to do so, but there may be better to have it. I sort of had a note to maybe would be best to circulate to the whole body for a short time to inform all of us to better have those discussions.
Is there a committee other than the jail task force?
Emergency services would be probably one that it might fall under also, so.
Yeah, there's, emergency services is a full standing committee. I think typically task forces are put in place for a point in time action.
I'm just trying to clarify for myself.
Me too, because I'm not sure. Because it could be fine, it could be whatever.
I just bring it up to make it a point that I was going to make a request to start circulating those to the whole court for a few months.
Judge, I think Squire Sebastian had pointed to this too, but I wanted to make sure that Squire Harrod understood the contract is broken down into the medical and the cost pool. We pay monthly into that cost pool, which is $58.33 per month. So that's why we're seeing that every month. Anything that goes over, that's where we see the overages.
Thank you.
Thank you for that clarification.
And the reason we do a cost pool is so we don't have a huge sea change at the end of the budget year where we have $100,000 or more that we hadn't planned for in expenditures.
And I don't remember if you were with us, Squire Harrod. We met with the provider. Were you there? And the decision was to sort of leave it so that we can maybe maximize our revenues, returns on our revenues for now.
All righty, any other questions on payment of claims? All righty, seeing none. Authorization to go into closed session per KRS 61.8101F, discussions or hearings which might lead to the appointment of an individual employee.
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. All right, we're in closed session. Squire Harris, second, and we are back in open session. Next one, I believe Chief Brewer is going to come up and talk to us about awarding a bid.
Thank you, Judge. Before I get into this one, I just do want to thank Tammy and Amy, Chief Other and Ben for all their work towards the AFG grant. That's like the Mount Everest of the grants for the fire service, so that was a huge,
Well, it's a team effort,
Gang,
and I think that's,
absolutely.
we really appreciate everybody working together. It's a great thing to see.
So for this item, this is authorization to award a bid for fire department SCBA equipment. It was advertised in the paper on, I believe it was July 3rd. In your packet should be the bid opening with both bids that were submitted. And by awarding this grant, this will keep us from having to continue to budget for this equipment in the future. We'll be able to finalize all that this year and be full up and replace some very dated equipment. So
That's
I'd
exciting
be happy
news.
to take any questions on
Any
this
questions
bid.
for Chief on this agenda item? Alrighty, Chief, thank you. Think you have another one?
Yes, the next one is authorization for the fire department to enter an agreement to secure the purchase of fire apparatus. So as we discussed through the budget process with the Finance Committee and the Committee of the Whole, the fire department is trying to move forward with replacement of apparatus, and the timelines have been discussed. Right now, build times are 2 to 3 years out. So we've been in contact with the vendor and found an apparatus that is already in that process that has a completion date estimated somewhere around spring, summer of 2026. So this will require carryover into the next budget cycle. However, that will give us more time to make those adjustments, because if you notice in there, the contract states $855,000. That's the truck as it sits. We will, just like we've done in the past, we'll have to make those modifications to fit those specific needs of our fire department. That's why the abstract reflects the $885,000. I know, it's a hard pill to swallow. We budgeted $850. When I was going through the budget process, talking to the vendors, getting some estimates, they said between $850 and $875. I shot the $850 in the budget, hoping and praying that we'd be close to there, so.
Squire Sebastian.
Thank you, Judge. Looking on page 3 of the agreement, the company that we're attempting to work with is located in Manassas, Virginia, and item 14 on page 3 of the agreement includes Woodford Circuit as the exclusive venue in the event of litigation. So I find that very curious.
That was left in there from a previous contract that they had done when they changed it over. I've already got an updated contract that I've sent to the clerk that says Franklin County.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
So yes, that has been addressed and updated.
You saw that coming.
Thank you.
The county attorney helped me on that. He caught that one, so.
Because I saw it coming a mile away too, when I saw it.
So, yes, that has been adjusted.
So that's been,
Yes.
okay, thank you.
So which truck will this replace, Chief?
This will replace engine 5.
5, right?
Yeah, the engine 10 and engine 5 were originally bought at the exact same time. This creates some separation between those two trucks so that both of those aren't having to be purchased at the exact same time like they were back in 2007. So.
4th District appreciates that.
Go ahead, Squire. Tanner?
There is a couple of reserve trucks, the white trucks.
Yes.
Will one of those be retired completely and surplus and sold?
Yeah, so as these newer trucks come into service, those trucks will replace older trucks in reserve status. So it would go to a reserve status, and then a reserve would be surplused out or sent to another department if another department was to have a need. But typically, they just get surplused.
And to refresh my memory, I think after this purchase, we have a couple years to take a breath, right?
Yes.
We have a
Yes.
little,
This one will get us
like 5
on the
years
road
or something?
So we won't require another truck till 2030.
30 years?
So
We hope.
yeah.
No, 20, 30, 30 years would be nice. I don't think that's what he said.
Amy got a big smile, yeah.
I don't think that's what he said.
Engine 10 has already been ordered. It is actually going to be here.
It's already,
Yeah, I actually got an email yesterday saying that it is basically moving to the assembly line. So they are actively working on the construction of that truck right now.
Those two trucks that he's talking about were bought after I had been on the department for 3 years, so they've had their use.
Yeah, they've been great trucks.
They are
but,
good trucks.
And another thing by securing this apparatus, just for reference, they're saying that some emission standards are going to be changing, and by securing this one, rather than doing a custom build from the ground up, it's going to save us several $1,000s by getting a motor that doesn't have to be compliant to those standards yet. So,
Alrighty.
Judge,
Go ahead.
Chief, could you speak to the request is for the price of the engine? There's a, if desired or required bond of $2,054.
On other terms,
yes. So,
I'm assuming we have to bond this thing so they know we're gonna take it.
it's an option to add the performance bond in there.
Are they requesting it or would?
They just list that as an option. I mean, it's the will of the court if they would like to see that in there.
So that just guarantees it's our truck, basically?
When we sign this contract, it will be our
Okay.
truck.
So they're not asking for it.
And I can get more clarification.
Just wondered if
from-
they were asking or requesting us to put that up
Yeah.
for.
They do not require us to.
Okay.
I don't think we have one on the current truck that's being built.
Okay, fine.
So,
It
but
just,
this one, if we wanted to add it to this one, because of a little bit longer timeline, if the court prefers that, we can adjust that in there as well.
The contract actually has a liquidated damages clause in it. And so if we don't follow through, it states the penalty in the contract. So they know they're gonna get their money or they're gonna get that liquidated damage amount.
They're getting money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
fine.
Alrighty, Chief, you got another one for us?
Yes, the next item is authorization to approve the promotion to the rank of captain. So with Captain McCourt's retirement, this creates an open captain position. We hold our annual promotional testing process, which goes into effect and runs from January 1st to December 31st of each calendar year. Firefighter Chris Brown is the top candidate for captain position, and we are recommending his promotion to the rank of captain.
Alrighty, any questions on this promotion for the Chief? Alrighty, next one, Chief?
And then the hire, so the retirement will also create an open firefighter position, and in your packet, we have the hiring list that was established earlier this year with the next candidate on the list, and we are recommending their hire.
Any questions for the Chief on hiring a new firefighter? Seeing none, Chief, we thank you, sir. Thank you very much for being with us. Alrighty, next I believe, Ashley, you coming back up on this one? Well, let me ask, does anybody have any questions? We've kind of talked about the light equipment operators. Any other additional questions for Ashley or Duke on this? Alrighty, seeing none, next one is about the change order I briefly talked about earlier for the road department. So basically what it is Duke kind of brought it to my attention. On the original plan, they had asphalt coming all the ways up to the bay doors and across the whole front and rear of the building. Duke and myself doesn't think that's going to hold up the way it should, so it's been recommended that we pour a concrete apron 5 foot out all the ways across both sides of the building. Rise and Sun agrees. They actually kind of brought it to our attention, so they're willing to do it at a pretty reasonable cost, not much profit, so I think $7,500 plus. I'm sure Codell puts their 7%, I believe, on there, so they need this kind of approved, hopefully, to keep things moving, so what we're gonna do is hopefully approve me just to sign it once we get it, and it's not to exceed 9,000, I'm sorry, so I think we determined it should be around 8,600 or something like that, so that's why it's in here the way it is. So do y'all have any questions on that?
3 sides of the building or all 4?
Just 2 sides,
2 sides.
where the bay doors are entering and exiting,
Okay.
correct? Right, Duke?
That's correct.
All right, so I thought, thank you.
And Rising Sun's doing this at a cost.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not much money for a bunch of concrete work. Alrighty, next,
What are they doing, 8-inch thick?
We figured 6 was plenty. They're gonna rebar it and tie it into the building and everything. Yeah. You good, Squire? Yeah. Yep. Alrighty, next, I believe Charlie. Charlie, you gonna come up? Hey, how you doing tonight? You know, it's good to hear in Amy's report that, that park numbers are up. That's, it's gotta make you feel pretty proud.
It does.
Been
It
a
does.
while.
We had our biggest year revenue-wise ever.
Congratulations.
History of the park.
We
Thank you.
appreciate you and your team. Y'all doing a great job.
They're working hard.
Yeah, good. Alrighty.
Your next agenda item is authorization to increase wages for part-time and seasonal park and golf employees. I meant to address this at the last meeting, but we kind of bypassed it. But in your abstract, it lists the purpose broken down for minimums for starting for part-time and seasonal and students, and then anybody above that threshold of $12 an hour, an hour would get the 3%, which is just one seasonal employee is above that. Everybody else is under 12 right now.
I know we talked about this during the budgeting and things like that, and I do apologize that it was left off last court meeting. We were gonna take it up. Anybody have any questions on this for Charlie?
Same as last meeting. Are we wanting to be retroactive for these to July 1st?
I think we can just start next payroll.
Yeah, we talked about that, Squire, and that would make it really hard because there's a different pay period right now. And so we had talked about it, and Charlie felt
Just
like
moving
they're gonna be
forward.
very appreciative of getting it, so we were gonna hopefully do it from this point forward, just to keep it clean.
So from July 1 forward is when she'll start.
Pardon?
From July 1 forward is when this is going to take place.
No,
No,
from
from
today.
this
From
court
today,
meeting,
gotcha,
yeah.
gotcha, gotcha.
Because if we went back to July, Squire,
Gotcha.
we'd have to get into a last pay period, and Vicky might come after all of us if we do that.
Yeah, the upcoming payroll.
All right, Charlie, thank you. Oh, I'm sorry.
I just wanted to, thank you.
Yeah, Squire Sebastian.
I just wanted to pass along all the comments that I heard when I was at the fair about how fantastic the park looked. The fair board, there were people who were showing livestock and other things, talked about the facilities there and how everything just looked great. So what you
Appreciate it.
didn't hear, I just want to pass that along because
Hey, it was a good week.
you tend to hear the non-positive things, and sometimes
Yeah.
it's great to hear that.
Yes,
So,
it does. It helps.
Everyone did a fantastic job on
We had
staff.
a good team.
Road department,
Road,
everybody,
jail.
jail, fire, everybody who was
Yeah.
out there
Fire
knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
Absolutely knocked it out of
And
the
you
park.
ordered some
Sheriff's
great weather.
office.
I mean, you hit the weather right on.
Yeah,
mean-
prayers were answered there, yeah.
Yeah,
It was perfect.
yeah.
So
Yeah, it was a
congratulations.
good week. Thank you.
Thanks, Charlie. Alrighty, next, I believe, is there some promotions at the jail? Does anybody have any questions on some of these? Looks like there's 4 of them.
I know.
Squire Blackburn.
Yes, sir. When we were discussing the policies over there at the jail, was there a written or oral board required for promotions?
I believe there is a written test if more than one person applies for a position. So, I guess your question is, did they take a test?
Right. Or if these are
Ashley,
just-
do you know the answer to that by any chance?
I had a conversation with Jailer Hopper and was told that there was not a testing process, that candidates were selected based upon merit and demonstration of leadership skills.
Are these secure side employees?
That I do not know.
Yes, they are. Jailer's not with us. We went, Squire Tanner and I went out yesterday and asked her to be here to be able to talk about these. I thought she was going to be.
Because I know they're a little short-staffed,
And that's what I was told, is that these are to fill vacancies, critical vacancies from within.
on secure side, because I think they had to reach out to the sheriff's department to get some people to help them out. All right.
I'd actually asked for jailer to provide us where these people's positions fit into this organizational chart that we've been given, where they were previously and where they would be going, so there'd be a bit of a visual aid for us to understand the process a little bit, because I expressed that we've all been a bit fatigued by the continued musical chairs at the jail. I was hoping that there would be a bit more of a presentation for us about why this was critical and needed at the time.
So could I suggest, and I know the jailer's not here, but they are in need, I believe, of these. I don't know, but it was my understanding that there is tests that have been in place to take if more than one person applies for a position. So I don't necessarily want to hold these up just because we know there's some issues right now. They're trying to keep everybody going. But maybe we request that the jailer come to our next meeting and we have that conversation as far as procedures. And maybe we can look into that prior, because that should be in the code. What do you all think?
I don't disagree. Eric and I were out there yesterday and had a lot of conversations, but it was mostly over the STAP program. And we got into the personnel shortage that they're facing right now. And I don't see how I don't think we need to add to that. And I agree, we need to get here and find out if there is a test and make sure that we got it down correctly in the personnel code. They have their own personnel code within that policy we just passed the other day, and was suggested to her that once we get ours finalized, that we would use ours and take that one out. And it would all be on the same sheet of music, or whatever, for lack of a better term. But we may not be there yet. So I'm with you, Judge. We need to go forward with this and try to eliminate any loopholes in the future.
But I do think we need to look into, because I think I remember even from the last jailer that there was testing in place.
And I'd like to see a little more detailed financial impact.
Okay.
It says see above, it says dollar raise, dollar raise, dollar raise. Fiscally for the year.
Yeah.
What's the impact of that? Like
$40 a week.
Well, yeah, but you've got all the compensation, benefits, all that stuff.
Well, she also mentioned to Eric and I that they're working a ton of overtime, which
Sure.
actually makes if this eliminates some of the overtime, it would be a positive thing.
Well, this isn't adding personnel, it's just raising positions.
Yes.
So
I
it's,
don't know whether you've noticed or not, but one of them, since I've been here, we promoted to corporal, like on one of my first court meetings, and now they're getting promoted to sergeant, so we're talking within 4 months span.
Judge, if I may, I would agree with the recommendation to move forward and then question additional after. I can confirm that at least one of these employees was informed that they were being granted the promotion. So I think that would be the responsible and fair and equitable thing to do.
Okay. Thank you for that recommendation, Ashley.
Judge,
Everybody
well,
okay with that?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But while we're at it, I mentioned yesterday to the new jailer, and I've brought it up in this court several times, but there is a KRS that mandates some reporting happens to us every quarter, and I let the jailer know that I intended to bring it up this evening, but since she's not here, maybe we'll do it another time. But I would like that at the end of every month. I would like to know exactly what vacant positions have been throughout that month. I'd like this body to have a lot more information about current population of the jail, repair needs and other future plans, all those kinds of things on a monthly. The KRS mandates a quarterly basis for some elements, but it also gives us the ability to dictate time frame and whatever information we want. So I'd express that I'm going to be expecting that information to us much more regularly, so we can keep an eye on exactly what the staffing level is there and what the need is in the future primarily, but also to understand what kind of repairs and things need to be coming our way.
And I'm not putting words in her mouth, but in the last conversation her and I had, she wants to be very transparent with what's going on there, especially with the fiscal court. So we'll have a conversation with her about that. Squire Taylor, Jeff?
I might be out of order, Judge, but Eric and I looked at this, and we brought it up to you about a bond. She's required by law to have a bond, and we asked her, did she have it? She said no, but it's supposed to be recorded in the minutes here.
Yep.
And I believe the statute says minimum of $10,000, but we don't know, it don't say nothing about the maximum or who sets it. I would ask that you research with CAECO or Jailers Association or Max or something to find out what that bond should be set at.
Okay, we're gonna have that on next agenda.
Next agenda.
Yep.
I think it's minimum of 10,000 and the court can set a different bond should they choose.
So it's a court's responsibility to decide what that should be.
Yes.
That would be similar to how we handle constables.
Constables, other elected officials.
Well, related to that, I'd like to take just a quick look at what the financials are, the traditional values of funds that have been handled by the jailer, and to come up with a better idea of where we need to fall, because I know many of our bonds are much far exceeding $10,000.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll take a look at that. Thank you.
One last question.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Squire Blackman.
Is it in their budget? The promotions? I mean, I know they're short staffed, so they're not paying out, but they're paying overtime and everything
I
else.
mean, I would assume they are, because they're only promoting if there's slots available, and the budget was created for fully staffed for all slots.
Okay.
Not putting words in your mouth, but in theory,
That's why I
the
asked
whole
her.
chart's funded, so
Right.
moving things around. But to Squire Tanner's point, if they're working tons of overtime, I could shoot that budget in the foot.
Yeah.
So we need to really get people hired out there. Okay, thank you guys. This next one, Ben is still here, looking good in his tie. And I know this is something that we have talked about for a while now. And I want to thank Ben and his team. A lot of people have worked on this.
That's true.
And I don't like to say sides, but literally, everybody's worked on this one here, and I think it's a really cool thing. So Ben, you want to explain it just a little bit?
Sure, yeah, I'm very excited about this project. I'm very happy with the language of the ordinance as it's presented before you all tonight. Staff has been working on this basically since February, March, and it's been full steam ahead. This is one of the last pieces of the puzzle needed in order to allow the project to move forward. The way our current zoning code is written didn't really address or allow for the nature of this project to occur. So we had to start from scratch and create a new zoning district to basically enable the project. It's kind of multifaceted. It will function like a planned unit development, a PUD to some extent. It also has preservation aspects to it, incorporated to it as well, which to my knowledge, there's never been any preservation type of use or ordinance in the county. A little background, the zoning update committee held a special meeting back in May. Took it initially to the planning commission just to gain feedback from them. I'll go back even further. Staff consulted the state historic preservation officer, the city's preservation officer as well to kind of guide us, because I don't have that kind of expertise for preservation. So we got that expertise, and they were extremely helpful in this process and guiding us to where we ultimately ended up. Back to our timeline, Planning Commission, May 9th, we gained feedback from them. They generally were in support of what was being presented. Would have gone to the June Planning Commission meeting, however, a legal ad snafu canceled that meeting, and it was heard at a specially scheduled July 1 meeting where it was approved unanimously. And we have brought that language to you all today, and would hope that you all agree that it is approvable. I'd be happy to take questions.
And again, tonight is just the first reading.
First reading,
Correct.
that's right.
Ben, I want to thank you and everybody that's worked on this. I know
It's been a team effort.
it's been a journey, and I know it's just going to be for a couple special projects, hopefully in Franklin County. Honestly, Buffalo Trace might fall under this also.
I kind of had them in mind.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it, the way it's zoned right now,
Yep.
I mean, there could be some justification for that. So, anybody have any questions for Ben on this?
I need time to
yeah.
read it since we
Yeah.
just got it.
Yeah,
Yeah, the minutes arrived yesterday.
yeah. Not a whole lot in the minutes. I know it was sent out on Friday, but yeah, no, again, it's first reading. All right, Ben, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Other business. Does anybody have any other business tonight?
Judge, I got a few requests.
Go ahead.
Wanted to ask for just a couple of updates maybe to things I was thinking about. Last year about this time, we had an update on our cases, court cases pending, settled, and otherwise. I think there's been some discussion about that, but we're effectively starting a new year, new fiscal year here this month that I'd like to see what we've got going on. And I think we had a discussion about settled cases that had been in the past and how that might impact our insurance. And that was never brought to us. I'd really like to see some of that.
Max, can we go ahead and maybe
I
get,
asked about this
No, no.
6 weeks ago, so.
can we
It's just a
potentially, I know
thing.
Barry offered to come, you know, could we, do you want me to reach out to him or do you want to reach out to him?
Let me know a date and I'll reach out to him.
See if he's available next court date, we can go into closed session and talk, right? Either the next one or the one after. Let's consult with Jack to make sure
Okay.
something's not loaded down too much. I don't know what's on the next agenda. That's okay.
Just let me know and I'll reach out.
Okay.
And then also wondered if we could get a bit of a status report on how we're doing in digitizing forms and that whole transition to internet services, where we are and how maybe the first ones have been treated or adopted by the public that's using those. I've heard some good comments, but I don't know that the public generally knows that we have some of those things available yet, so maybe there's a little bit more that we need to do, and I don't know what's online yet to be able to tell anyone either, so. And then, as far as at least serving on the jail task force with the new jailer in place, I thought it would be a good idea. I'd really like to ask if staff could pull all of our jail-related contracts for us to take a look at. We've talked about that multiple times since coming in this term about taking a look completely at all contracts that the county has currently. I thought maybe best just to start with the jail right now and see if there are any, especially since we've sort of said 2 meetings ago, I believe, that we want all contracts to be updated, ideally to not supersede or not exceed 4 years in term length. And I'm not sure that we have any automatic renewals out there, but yesterday's two.
Kim, how are you coming on that spreadsheet? You've been trying to kind of get a grip on all the contracts.
As of right now, I am going through that's not electronically saved on the computer, which might take me some time. It just depends how far back you want me to go.
I thought just maybe taking a stab at that jail first. You know, we've added a whole lot of contracts on and added some features to monitor things, but there are some renewals that come up regularly to us, and I don't have a full grasp even yet as a member on the task force of what all that we're looking at. So
We'll have
let's
to
take
get with the jail
a bite off at first, and since she's brand new, it's prime time to review all this, right? I think that's it. Thank you.
Alrighty. Anybody else for other business? Alrighty, we're gonna jump into voting session, if that's okay. Clerk, please call the roll.
Squire Sebastian. Here. Squire Blackburn.
Present.
Squire Harrod.
Here.
Squire Tanner.
Here.
Squire Westman.
Present.
Judge Miller.
Present. Do you have to call Squire Dykus legally? Yeah, I think you have to call. Go ahead and call.
Okay, Squire Dykus.
And we hope she feels better. We heard she was under the weather, so, okay. Thank you, Clerk. Authorization to approve minutes of regular meeting, July 10th, 2024.
As amended, Judge?
As
I'll move
amended.
to approve.
Have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to receive County Clerk's quarterly report ending June 30th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to declare the Sheriff's Office equipment as surplus for disposal by the auction through Gov Deals.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve a resolution authorizing the expedition of the Local Assistance and Tribal Consistency Fund, LATCF, for the purchase of 3 police vehicles for the Franklin County Sheriff's Office.
So moved. Second.
Did you get that, Clerk?
Who did the first motion?
Squire Harrod. Squire Blackburn seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to amend the contract with HMB Engineering regarding professional services.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to receive the treasurer's fourth quarter fiscal year financial statement report for the 12 months ending June 30th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to receive the treasurer's financial statement for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve the engagement letter with Charles T. Mitchell for the year end June 30th, 2024, auditing services.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to receive treasurer's report.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Payment of claims. Is there a motion to deny any payment of claims?
Yes.
So, Max, how do I do that? Do I just say as, or do we need to go ahead and list that again since we're voting?
I would list it, just to be more specific. Always better to be more specific than not.
And then,
All right.
Squire, why don't you just do the numbers again, and and I believe the clerk has it written down as numbers also. Is that okay, Max? Okay.
Yes, sir. So it would be under item account 978001750 under that account. And then there are 10 enumerated items under there. So I'm going to recommend denial of enumerated number 2. I'm going to ask for...
Can you make a motion to deny?
Yes, I'm making the motion to deny.
Second.
Am I not saying that?
Just want to make sure.
Well, I was asked to enumerate. I'm trying
Are
not
we
to
gonna
jump
do
the
all
gun.
of them
Am I
at once
doing
now?
it the way you want it?
I just want to make sure, right?
That is
Am I
fine.
following
Your
okay?
question, are we going, excuse me, go ahead.
So we're gonna do all of them at one time?
Can we do all,
Or
we'll do
do they have
all,
to be individual?
because they're under one category, we can do them all at one time, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so enumerated item number 2, if you find enumerated item number 3 is lumped in with the check for item 2, I would recommend that. If it is not there, then we can bypass that. Enumerated item number 6, enumerated item number 7, enumerated item number 8, and enumerated item number 9.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Other than that, there was, let the record reflect all the other claims are to be paid. Thank you, Squire. Authorization to award a bid to 911 Fleet and Fire low bidder for the fire department's SCBA equipment.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization for the fire department to enter into an agreement to secure the purchase of a fire apparatus.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say
Let
nay.
the record
Motion
show y'all
passes.
spent $885,000.
Authorization to approve a promotion of Chris Brown to the rank of captain.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to hire Malikai Zeller as a firefighter.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to hire Matthew Towson as light equipment operator / driver.
So moved.
Second.
All those
Are
in
we-
favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to authorize the judge executive to sign a change order number 3 not to exceed $9,000 on the road department project.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to increase wages for part-time seasonal and golf employees.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Okay. Clerk, should I read that again? I just saw a note on here to make sure we get,
It's 2 different
Okay.
actions.
okay, so the next action is authorization to increase wages for current seasonal employees who make $12 an hour to get a 3% raise.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve the promotion of Timothy Taylor to SSGT.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve the promotion of Kelsey Torres to SSGT.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve of Stephen Palmer to SGT.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve the promotion of Keith Peach to SGT.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. First reading of ordinance amending the Franklin County Code of Ordinances, Chapter 155, Section 155.066, District Established, and add Section 155.151, Rural Heritage Mixed Use District HD.
So moved.
Second.
First reading.
The first
No
reading.
vote will be taken at this time, but I appreciate you all's excitement.
We're all over.
The enthusiasm is great. Love it. Authorization to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. We are adjourned.